just a quick review of the CanDo hand exercise web. This is one of the more clever things that I've seen out there to strengthen your fingers. Most of the products that I know I've looked at and that I see are like these squeezing exercise balls, which will get the job done. But this is kind of different. This is like, they say it's like an exercise web. So this is really kind of flexible material. It's 14 inches in diameter, so it's a pretty good size. I do make a smaller one, I think, for travel. But this is a standard size I would definitely stick with for some serious strengthening. Basically, what you're going to do is put your fingers in here and you just kind of squeeze them together. So here again, the resistance is against pulling against this elastic material that it's made of. There's two ways you can vary the resistance. So if you're wondering what the colors are for, one is like an extra light and another one is a medium. And they have another one that's a little bit, they have different resistances. So I think there's about like two of them I've seen. But anyway, this one is extra light and medium. So one side is extra light, one side is medium. So there's a couple ways you can vary the resistance on this, because in order to get your fingers stronger, if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over, your muscles don't have a reason to get any stronger, so you're not going to get any stronger. So you have to give them a reason to get stronger by providing resistance, okay? And after you provide resistance, and it can do, you can squeeze something for so long or lift something so many times, you have to progress. There has to be a place to go. Like either, you do it for more time or the weight has to get heavier, that kind of thing. In this case, there's two ways to vary the resistance. One is by putting your fingers a little farther apart. So the farther apart you put your fingers, the harder it's going to be to pull them together. Okay, so that's one way to vary the resistance. And the other way is just to switch sides. So you go from the side that's light resistance to the heavier resistance. So yeah, I think it's a pretty clever tool. If you're tired of those little squeezy things, those little like plier things. My dad used to have a pair of those. Or you're tired of, squeeze balls don't really do it for you. This is kind of a neat little thing to play around with. Now this does work mainly flexion, all the muscles that are involved in flexion, which is bending your fingers. I guess you could try and work extension a little bit with this, but this is mainly for gripping and stuff. And you can work the thumb as far as gripping as well with this. So yeah, if you're looking for something, just kind of get someone started with something, I think this is a great place to start. If you need a more detailed program, this is a good resource I want to bring up. Treat Your Own Hand and Thumb Osteoarthritis. Even if you have arthritis, you're just looking for a finger program. This is a good. This will take you less than 10 minutes a day. It's written by a physical therapist. And honestly, this is just a total evidence-based program. Just real briefly, I'll show you some of the exercises that are in it that you can do. Getting rid of the stiffness. That's a big thing when you have like finger arthritis or overworked fingers. Shows you how to make a homemade hot pack, which is kind of cool. But using heat on your hand, that's really nothing groundbreaking. Range of motion exercises, though. If you go to therapy, occupational therapy, or hand specialist, they're going to have you do range of motion exercises, especially if you have arthritis. And I'll tell you why these are so important. The joints in your fingers are synovial joints, which means there's synovial fluid in them. Okay, that's one of the big characteristics of a synovial joint, has synovial fluid. That's how the articular cartilage, the cartilage at the end of the bones, that's how it gets its nutrition, through the synovial fluid. The other thing is, how does the synovial fluid get around and get dispersed throughout the whole joint? Well, through movement. And that's why a good way to get rid of stiffness is by doing range of motion exercises. You're kind of sloshing that synovial fluid around. Now, if you take your problems with hand arthritis, it hurts to move my fingers, so you don't move them as much. So the synovial fluid doesn't get spread around as much, and that causes even more problems for your articular cartilage. So anyway, range of motion exercise, got a set of them. These just take you a few minutes to do. If you're not a big exerciser, that's when I really like this little program. How to make your hands stronger? Well, that little exercise web we went over is one way. There's other ways. If you have just really light dumbbells, you don't have to buy a ton of weights, but there's exercises you can do for finger flexion, which that exercise web does. There's also exercises for like pinching. And here's something else that I think is really important. A lot of people with hand arthritis, they have base of the thumb arthritis. So thumb arthritis is really common, especially in women as they get older. I think that's mainly due to menopausal changes, hormonal changes. It makes your ligaments a little more lax, so you get a little extra motion in the joint. And then everything starts to wear down. And you get this extra motion, stresses the ligaments. In the later stages, the ligament shreds, and you can get a total deformity where it's sticking out, something like that. So that's all because of instability, not getting enough stability in the joint. Well, there's a muscle called your abductor pollicis longus. And basically it attaches right to the bottom of the base of your joint. So if you get that stronger, it's going to actually stabilize your thumb joint, and that's going to help prevent a lot of these problems, and it's going to make the pain go away. So you can exercise for that and progressive resistance. So there are a lot of other things too. A neat little program, just wanted to bring that up. But hey, if you're looking for, you like really working with these little devices and stuff like squeeze balls and stuff, this is one of the more clever ones that I've seen. I really like it, so definitely check it out.